like a couple of them to our viewers and tell them what they look like.
Okay, so how I see them is that I've been told that I have a very strong sense and that I need to use it more. And Archangel Gabriel told me that. And so I listened to her, and I've been using that since you asked me to at Nanny's a long time ago. And
you can talk about the exorcism too if you even want to. Like, just give examples of ways that you've used your gift. Okay, don't be scared. Just put it out there.
So, and I also see the colors of the auras. Like, I see ovals, like in your picture with your aura. It's like the ovals, like that. And I correlate the colors with like the archangels and the spirits that I sense.
What color is my aura?
Greenish, yellowish, with a hint of blue.
Because I'm finally speaking my truth. There's never been blue in it, so thank you for telling me that. I've been working really hard on that. High five. Thank you. I've never seen blue in my aura before. Thank you. Keep going.
And I can see images whenever I close my eyes. Like, you know how we had that conversation on the phone that I said, is it normal for you to see images and people when I close my eyes? And you said, no, it's not. Tell me what you see.
No, I said it is. I see it like a movie.
No, I heard you say no to me, so I just used that.
Oh, okay. No, baby. I see it like a movie playing out. I see still frames, like I'm snapping a picture constantly, and then I see it like a movie being played out. When did I tell you no?
It was a long time ago.
Okay. Well, maybe I wasn't seeing things then, like I do now.
And you asked me,
sorry.
What did you see? And I said, I saw this old lady with a hump on her back. And you told me it was one of my relatives. Yeah. I forgot her name, but I remember you saying it.
She was your grandmother in the past life.
And right when you said that, I saw her like
France. You see France?
France.
She was your grandmother, and we lived in France then. You lived with her in France.
I didn't know that.
I'm telling you. Go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
And
I was seeing it. I'm sorry.
Right when you told me her name, I saw her pop up in the corner of my bedroom.
Okay.
At Daddy's whenever I had that air mattress, because my bed was stupid, and I had to get rid of it. And so during that exorcism that you did with Michael, right, like
you went with me to do that. She did an exorcism with me 2 years ago. A year ago or 2 years ago. It was almost 2 years ago. Not quite 2 years ago. It was close.
Whenever I was setting down the crystals with you, I saw reflections in the crystals, and I looked up, and there was like these white teardrop kind of things. I didn't tell you this.
Okay.
I saw these white teardrop things coming out of the ceiling, and they were like coming right here and like over here, like pretend like we're in the room. So here's where like the couch was,
right,
and then here was like the recliner or something over here, and he was like right down in the center of it. We were setting crystals down, and
we were doing that for protection. We were setting a grid, right?
And you know how I saw that demon in like the hallway?
Oh yeah, it was a shadow hunter, right?
Yeah, with the black head and a white body. And I saw reflections of the angels, and it was right where that demon stood, but the demon wasn't there that I saw. And it was over here by the recliner and by the couch over near the basement door.
Right.
Because the demons are down there.
Yeah, they're in the basement. And they came up through the basement, up through the floor, and they wrapped up on the ceiling, didn't they? I mean, it was like scary bad. They were like 20 feet tall. Yeah, at least. I was going to say 22 feet tall.
I sensed them and I sensed them and I was told that they were in Ada's closet protecting.
They were.
And they were in Michael's in
yes.
your closet and on his bed.
Yes.
And in the kitchen.
Yes, that's where I always saw them and felt them. I was held down on the bed. I was held down and paralyzed on the bed multiple times because of what was in that closet. You remember that, right?
And I sensed them in Tanner's and Ian's room.
Yeah. Tanner and Ian were both terrified to even go to sleep some nights because they would tell me the shadow man is standing at the foot of my bed and he is getting ready to choke me. He is getting ready to put his hands around my throat, and I'm scared to close my eyes because if I go to bed, I'm not going to wake up in the morning. They were terrified to go to sleep, and that's what they would tell me all the time. Camille, help me get it out of here. And we got it out, didn't we? We did. Do you remember whenever I burned the handprint on Michael's heart chakra? Whenever I put my hand on his chest? And it left my handprint, literally, it left the red mark of my handprint on his heart chakra. Didn't it? You saw it. It looked like I had taken a branding iron that looked like my hand and put it on his chest. It was crazy, wasn't it, Kirsten? It was crazy. You witnessed it. I mean, you saw it. You were the only one that was there with me. But I did a lot of things before we even started doing the exorcism, didn't I? Just to get that demonic energy out of the house.
Yeah. Like a
Yeah, it was a precursor to the curse. You know, I do exorcisms, and that's how that works. But what would you like to ask me, though?
About what?
Ask me something else.
I wasn't expecting this.
Well, I told you, ask me questions.
Hey, you said no.
Yeah, I know, but you can ask me another one because we kind of went out on the tangent, so. The one that I asked you was pretty extensive, so you can ask me.
I don't know, I only thought of one question.
Well, what else would you like to talk about?
How do you understand, like, the Witch's Tarot and like the Six of Pentacles and the Seven of Swords and the Ace of Cups, like stuff like that? How do you understand that and how do you remember it easily?
You know, it's extremely hard to understand all of that, and it takes a lot of study and it takes a lot of work to integrate. She's talking about my tarot cards. Those of you that don't know what those terms are. It's, you know, I work with my books because each of my decks have different meanings, but I love my Witch's Tarot and I love my steampunk deck. Like, my steampunk deck is what finally got me into understanding that version of the tarot. Not the Rider-Waite, but the Rider-Waite is where I started. So, and then there's this guy that's on YouTube that says, learn the tarot in, like, I don't know, it's like a 2-hour thing, and he's amazing. And I would go to sleep even just putting this in my subconscious. And then my twin flame, whose name is my Shunei, he would come to me in my dreams and he would pull out tarot cards. And there would be 3 to 4 tarot cards that he would say, this and this and this is what's going on right now. And this is what we need to talk about. He would teach me what these tarot cards mean. And I'm like, I have no clue on this earth without looking at the book and researching what these tarot cards mean. I had no clue. But Nashune would tell me, and I would wake up going, oh my God, I know what they mean now. Because I asked for him to come into my dreams, and I asked for him to come in and to teach me along with Archangel Michael. And I'm like, I need help. I can't understand this. I know that it's my gift, and I know that I have been an oracle in many of my past lives. I was a record keeper, and I was a historian. Why am I so scared of my knowledge? Please help me release that block that's against me right now, because I am creating this in and of myself, and it does not need to be there. It's not serving me, so please help me understand it. God, I'm so frustrated. Why can't I grasp it? And I still, to this day, and I have been reading tarot cards for like 3 years, I still, to this day, I don't have all of them memorized, and I have 15 decks. I don't have them all memorized, but you know what? It's to the point now to where I can look at them, and I trust my intuition enough to where I can hear clairaudiently and see clairvoyantly and have clairsentience and claircognizance to where I know what I'm being told. And I'm like, wow. So this is, okay, so this is what's being said with this. And this is what this means. But just in case that I'm not giving you the full grasp of, like, maybe something that you should hear, let's just refer to the book. And that's how I read, because, you know, to me, that's learning. And you can't sit in front of someone's presence and act like you know everything. You can't sit in front of someone and be like, this is what this card's mean, or this is what this card's meaning is without a doubt, and you should just trust me on it. Because just like everyone, there's going to be a little bit different of an energetic with each person that's trying to come into your plane. And if you're reading for a client, it may mean one thing to them, and it may have a totally different meaning to you energetically as just the overall meaning of it. And it may have one spectrum of that card that is really pressing towards, like, well, this is the main thing, but it could have multiple meanings that pertain to that card, that maybe one is really standing out to where the other three are not, you know. And you have to energetically feel what's going on with that situation and then just go from there, because it's not always going to correlate to what you think is appropriate in your mind for a definition. You have to be open consciousness and willing to, you have to open your consciousness and be willing to understand energetically that things shift and change constantly. It's never going to be the same for each person. And you may have to take on a new meaning for a card, even though it has the generalized meaning of it, but it may not have an illogical meaning of what is ideologically pertinent for what is standardized for that specific card and meaning. Anything else?
Do you have an inspirational quote for the end of the video?
Love yourself as though you are the divine, and the divine shall love you in return as though you are that in return. Because we are in and of the same, we are one, and that is the majesty and the majestic love and ability of being in tune and one with the divine collective consciousness. Namaste.